you have to wait for Nvidia GPUs. Google's Pixel 7 got sailed on eBay. And GPUs at MSRP? Say it ain't so. I will not go. Turn the lights on. It's time for hot news. Let's get into the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. And we're going to start off today talking about you having to wait for your GPUs from Nvidia, because today was supposed to be the much fanfared awaiting release of the GTX 1630, which was supposed to be the low-end budget king that essentially would beat out the RX 6400 and 6500 XT, not necessarily because it would be faster, but because it would have features that AMD just decided to not give us with their low-end GPUs. But we now have new news that it's not coming out today because it's coming out on June 15th. You're going to have to wait 2 more weeks in order to get this low-end card. Video cards obtaining the embargo release date stuff regarding this, indicating that the marketing activity and the on-shelf time are going to be essentially at the exact same time. So that means that there likely will be no reviews beforehand. Nvidia probably not seeding these out to reviewers because it's just not worth their marketing time and budget in order to have, you know, all of this logistics and infrastructure going to something that's going to cost probably like $150 realistically. But it's going to exist, allegedly. And according to the latest preliminary benchmark results, it's supposed to be slightly slower than a 1050 Ti, which is not great. But again, you gotta look at it in the context of where the current market is, and the low end of the current market is really atrocious. It's either you're buying stuff from 10th gen or before, or you're relegated to buying from AMD right now, who decides that you don't need H.264 encoding on your freaking GPU for whatever freaking reason. So Nvidia kind of being the best of both worlds when it comes to the GTX 1630. I'm excited for it regardless, and I can't wait for it to come out. I can wait until June 15th because I don't need it. So let me know if you're awaiting the GTX 1630 down below in those comments. And in case you're waiting on the RTX 40 series, which we're allegedly supposed to be getting in mid-July, which would mean these launch about a month after the GTX 1630. Beautiful master strokes moves by Nvidia right there. We'll get into Nvidia stroking in a little bit, but according to the latest reports, the RTX 4090 is going to be the GPU that comes out first. According to well-known leakers, essentially Nvidia's strategy is going to be announcing them all at the same time and then releasing them 4090, 4080, and 4070, which kind of falls in line with how they've done things previously. Maybe not the order, but when it came to the 30 series, the 3090, 3080, and 3070 were all announced at the same time, and we got the 3080 first, 3090 second, and 3070 subsequent to that. So waiting for all of these GPUs is just going to be baked into the pie of you awaiting your GPUs. We're baking a pie where you wait for waiting. That's great stuff, Brett. Let's talk about Nvidia and their CUQUANTUM. What? CUQUANTUM framework. I know that's not how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but it's supposed to be like CUDA Quantum, Nvidia's CUQUANTUM, which Nvidia. Nice. Essentially, it's supposed to be a rather similar framework to how CUDA works with current GPUs and everything like that, but bringing this over to quantum developments for the future of quantum computing, which, as it may or may not exist, is going to be the future of computing. Quantum. I'm great at my word talkie today. So let's word talkie about Cryptostonks, because Bitcoin surging a little bit, 7.86% up on the last 24 hours to be at $31,500. You can see over the Memorial Day weekend, it actually had a pretty steady time, and then towards the end of Sunday, it decided that it was going to go up, up, up. Ethereum also increasing over 10%, still shy of $2,000, but sitting at $19.89. Dogecoin also up 6.3% to sit at 8.7 cents. And GameStop having a rally on Friday as well, which was the last time markets were open, up 6.8% to be at $137.21. I will remind you that about a week ago, it was under $90. It's high. It's high right now. GameStop going up. And PC prices coming down, at least with UFD Deals. We're going to bring you the hottest tech deals that are out on the internet. And let's talk about this one, the ViewSonic Elite XG270QC. We actually did a video of this over on UFD Tech, which you can check out right up there. This is probably one of my favorite monitors ever, and for only $250, you're getting a heck of a lot. 1440p, 165 hertz, 1 millisecond response time, FreeSync Premium Pro, which means that it actually has HDR 400. That's something that's really difficult to find, especially at this price point, and I enjoyed this monitor for a while until I was adjusting my VESA arm, and I just kind of let loose after adjusting something, and it fell like half an inch to the table, and now it's dead, and I had to throw it out. and I'm sad. And Google's just throwing out their phone release plans. This is something that has plagued Google for a very long time, their ability to keep things under a tight-knit mouth disclosure period. They don't do it, which is why at Google I/O event, they actually showed off the entirety of the Pixel 7 so that they could get ahead of the leaks. Well, they couldn't get that far ahead because there's a prototype that got listed for sale on eBay that didn't just have pictures from Google I/O event, but were actual pictures of the freaking device. Not renders, actual thing. It was posted on eBay Sunday night. It's not there anymore. I tried to click on it. It said it was posted in error, but they were actual real life pictures of this Pixel 7. Probably a cease and desist coming from Google with regards to this device. And Apple's going to be bringing you devices for mixing your reality. We're expecting Apple to come out with their mixed reality stuff or even their augmented reality stuff. And there's a new trademark filing that's popping up on the internet regarding RealityOS, which is now the rumor for what Apple's going to be using as their operating system name for these devices. So it's supposed to be filed around the world through a shell company on June 8th, which is the exact same date as WWDC. And this is something that is kind of not coincidental that we're getting all of this on the same day. This doesn't necessarily mean that Apple's going to be showing off the device at WWDC, although the likelihood is there that it will happen. But according to reports, it's not a coincidence that it's happening on June 8th, the exact date, and the shell company's name is Yosemite Research LLC, which aligns with other operating system names that Mac has had over the years. So this tracks. What also will track is there's a new DeLorean electric vehicle that has been announced. Look at this bad boy, the Alpha5 four-seater EV. This thing, honestly, if it wasn't so expensive, I would be considering it. It's coming in at $175,000, but it has a whole lot of features that I personally need for my family, which is an atypical door in order to get my special needs son in and out of a car. And look, it has the gullwing doors that are very similar to the Model X, except for it's only 4 seats, and my family has 5 people, so I can't do that. Also, I can't afford $175,000. To be clear, however, this isn't a real DeLorean. This is just a company that acquired the rights to use the DeLorean name, but it has a whole lot of features. I think this looks sleek. It has a 100 kilowatt hour battery, can do 0 to 60 in 2.99 seconds, and they're reporting that the 0 to 88 mile per hour time is 4.35 seconds, which is a reference, obviously, to the movie that the DeLorean was heavily featured in, which, in case we have any Gen Z people watching, is Back to the Future. 88 miles per hour! Having gullwing doors or minivan doors are the requirement for a family vehicle for me. Why? When are we getting the ID Buzz? Like, that's the perfect electric vehicle. It's the first electric minivan that I'm aware that's going to be released in the gosh dang United States and not slated to come out until 2024. Volkswagen, if you're watching, I will buy one, okay? All right, can we get electric minivans, please? And can we get GPUs at affordable prices? Well, looks like it, because according to more data that's coming out of 3D Center, looks like the GPUs are as close as they've been to MSRP on the whole. Nvidia GPU prices are only 6% above MSRP right now, and AMD GPU prices are only 2% above MSRP. And if you've been following hot news for any length of time over the last few months, you've been noticing that we've been having GPUs prop up in UFD deals where they're actually at MSRP or even below. So GPUs definitely coming down just in time for Nvidia to announce, the RTX 4090, which likely should not affect the offerings of like the things that most people are buying, like an RTX 3060 or an RX 6600 XT. I'm glad to see that on average, GPU prices are dropping, and I'm glad to see more handheld consoles dropping. Ayaneo announcing yet another console, the Air Plus, coming out from them, which is going to have the Mendocino APUs that AMD announced at Computex very recently. And one of the things that Ayaneo is promoting here with their handheld consoles is that it's going to be able to support a whole host of operating systems, whether you want Windows, Ayaneo OS, or even SteamOS, especially as Valve's made that available for you to install at different places. It's definitely a good thing for this, but one of the things that we're finding out about the Mendocino APUs, which AMD wanted us to think were great things coming to the entry-level laptop market, which would have RDNA 2 graphics built in, and a lot of people were speculating that it was actually very similar to the APU that you can find on the Steam Deck. It's not. According to a new slide, it's only 2 compute units, which is tiny. For reference, the Steam Deck has 8 RDNA 2 compute units, so this is 25% of that's going to go into the Ayaneo Air Plus and into entry-level AMD laptops. This appears to be very similar to what we're hearing coming out about the Ryzen 7000 integrated graphics processors, that they're going to be only 2 compute units. So essentially they will support video out, they will support encoding, which you can't take for granted with AMD, and they will not be gaming compatible, but they will exist to output to a display should you fancy. And AMD fancies being the fastest computer ever with the ORNL, or Ornal Frontier supercomputer, officially going online, becoming the first exascale machine on the entire face of the planet, capable of hitting exaflops of processing power. This thing's packing over 8 million AMD cores and has a ton of AMD Instinct GPUs all in there. It is a very fast machine and sets the world record until it gets broken later on, but now is being held by AMD at the top crown. And I'm going to top the crown of this episode of Hot News because it's over. We'll be seeing you at another thing that we do later for tech news tomorrow.